Hello, everybody. It is Dee and Renee, and sorry we're running a couple minutes late today on today's show. It's my fault. Just want to say hello to everybody. And Dee has created some very hearty comfort foods. Dee, how you doing over there? I see maybe you need to yell at them again and tell them to get off the internet.
I will let them know right now.
Everybody, Dee is from Medicine Hat, Alberta. I am from Los Gatos, California. We also have another clinic down in Palm Desert. I just flew back today. Got a couple people on here. Hello, Melissa. Melissa is one of the owners of Red Cliff Pharmacy, where Dee is a coach. And hey, Deb, how you doing? Loyal followers. Today is all about comfort foods. So I don't know about you, Dee, but I can already feel the speed of craziness for the holiday season, and people just get in that really stressed mode where we start to, I know I've already made a couple of really crappy food choices for some of my days. And I don't know what it is. What is that?
I'm not sure where you are. Mother Nature, I know that sometimes weather and time change, and so Alberta got slapped with daylight savings time. So they made our clocks roll back an hour, so that so it gets dark really early, and then people's moods change and the day is done. And we had an awful storm here yesterday, and the temperature went from around zero, just below freezing, to -20 in a few hours. There was ice and snow and accidents and rollovers everywhere.
Wow.
And stressed and in a hurry, and they won't slow down, and everything starts, like the craziness starts.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I clicked on the wrong thing. I'm over here trying to say hello to everybody. Go ahead, Dee.
No worries.
So yeah, no, I totally agree. And actually I was I feel at this time of year my energy level tanks. I was talking to a integrative practitioner that I work with, and she said that a lot of it has to do with the dark. And so it's tough stuff.
I find the dark extremely hard. So it is pitch black now here at 5:43, and the sun goes down, and then it feels like you should be winding down, and it's nowhere near winding down time, but your brain
I totally
tricks on you.
Yeah, for sure. So in keeping with a little bit of that, this is the time of year that we have to be really, really diligent. And not only do we, Marie Ann says, I fight the hibernation urge for sure. Yeah. So it's not only me, yay, because I'm just really feeling it. And I tend to head towards sugar in those moments, and I really don't want to, and it's really, really frustrating, because that becomes your go-to, and then you feel yourself not feeling good, because then your exhaustion tanks. And I don't even know how I got on this subject, but
oh, good.
Let's talk about this good-looking lasagna dish over here.
Sure. So I have, and I'm going to be really truthful, and I really don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but this last weekend, I worked in a concession at my daughter's volleyball tournament. And I was a little bit dismayed. It's the standard, kind of junky food. However, there were a couple there was a couple soups and a chili, and one of the soups was a lasagna soup. But it was just full of high carb, glutinous noodles, and the broth was quite jelly-like, so I knew there was lots of gluten from the carbs in there. But however, I make fantastic meat sauce. I can make really good lasagna, and so I'm like, I'm going to recreate that lasagna soup for a phase 1 client and a phase 4 client, and just a good old darn version of just a low carb lasagna soup. So I have a few different versions to talk about. So the first one that you see here is the lasagna soup. So totally phase 1 appropriate, a sugar-free, carb-free beef broth, extra lean ground beef, spinach, tomatoes, spices. You could add fresh basils in there. You could add additional vegetables if you wanted. But before serving this one, the Ideal Protein cheese from the mac and cheese went into the bowl, and then the noodles were added just to the finish. And only added both of those ingredients right to the finish before serving. So as you guys know, I just soak my noodles on the counter in a bowl of water until they're al dente so that they don't become mushy. So if you guys use the IP mac and cheese, I encourage you to all try that. And it's also a super easy way to then just add those two ingredients for the finish. So one more thing I want to say about that is it's an excellent way to split your protein. So for example, in this bowl of lasagna soup, there is 4 ounces of your protein. So you can use up to 8 in a day, but there's 4 in there. And then the vegetables, and then I added my Ideal Protein mac and cheese. And so if you're a fan of protein splitting, that's a really, really hearty lunch or supper, and you still have an additional 4 ounces of protein that you may eat again. And so you could eat this for lunch and supper if you wanted to, if you were having one of those wonderful, comfort food days. And the other beautiful thing is that you can assemble all the ingredients for lasagna soup, put them in the crock pot before you go to bed, and that can cook on low all night. And then you can get up and just put your fresh basil, the spinach in for a finish, and then if you wanted to do your IP noodles. So rotini would work too. You just don't get the cheesy goodness from the rotini. But so there's a few options for your phase 1. That was really long. Sorry.
No, I love it. Deb says, sounds like a yummy soup. And this really is a time of year when we want that comforty, warm stuff. So let's talk for a minute before we head on to the next lasagna soup. And let's talk for a minute about the slow cooker, because I think that, and Dee, that might be a really good idea for next week's show. If you guys would like Dee to focus on either the slow cooker or the instant pot, you need to type that in, and whatever one is the most popular, we will focus on. And I know Dee is going like, you're killing me right now. So
I won't give it away. I will be fair, Renee. We'll just let the poll lay as the poll lays. Okay.
All right. So you guys, it's up to you. And I know there's a way to do a little, add a poll. So I'm going to try this. I don't know if it will work. But anyway, if you would like slow cooker recipes or instant pot recipes, we're going to take a poll right now. Okay. But anyway, so talk for a minute about some different options that are super, super easy, because I think this time of year we got to have super easy.
Yeah. So of course, soups in your crock pot or Instant Pot are going to be super, super easy. Any type of a stew is as well. So, and don't just get stuck on beef stew. You can do excellent chicken. You can do Tex-Mex chicken crock pot. So basically you can do chicken fajitas or tacos in a crock pot as well. You can do pulled pork, pulled beef, so many different ways to season and sauce those up even for phase one. And the beautiful thing about that is your veggies and your protein can go in the same pot. And there are so many winter vegetables that do a great job in the crock pot and Instapot, such as radishes and turnips and hickory root and rutabaga. They're tougher. They're they can withstand long, low temperature cooking, and they don't go mushy. They actually just get better flavor. Fennel is another one that can go in. Cabbage is fantastic. So, you know how some of you might do crack slaws really fast on your stovetop in a nice, just big saute pan or wok. You can do the same in a crock pot. And you don't have to, you turn on low and away you go. I think in everybody's kitchen staple, if you don't make chicken or beef bone broth, then have the Tetra packs of the sugar-free, carb-free beef broth and chicken broth handy in your pantry. It can be a game changer for meal assembly. And also, guys, I buy cases of organic diced tomatoes and cases of organic tomato sauce. And I love making my own. But in this winter season, when my house is still really busy and I'm only down to one kiddo at home, but she does more sports than, some other families with all their kids combined. And so the faster I can assemble a really good hearty meal, the better. So it's not wrong to buy canned goods. Now I know there is, if for your own personal reasons, if you don't choose to buy them, totally fine. Then you're just going to get those, your prep and planning, your veggies done ahead of time as well. So as always, if you need some help there too, just give us a holler and we can give you some good ideas there as well.
Awesome. So you guys can see here, it looks like it's 67% slow cooker. I love it. All right. Okay, Dee. So tell us so we have 2 lasagna soups today.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about this one.
So this one can also be a phase 1, 2, 3 soup. So pictured in this same base lasagna soup is your konjac penne noodles. So actually what's really interesting, this week, Ideal Protein itself shared a graphic that was letting everybody know that these types of noodles are permitted on the program. And so I will feature them once in a while, a little bit more, just to give you ideas on how they can be incorporated. So these noodles are 10 calories and all fiber per serving. So an excellent addition to this lasagna soup. So now that is phase 1, but now you can take this a step further into your phase 4 maintenance or maintenance period. It doesn't matter, any low carb, low sugar keto follower. You would actually put Parmesan rinds right in the crock pot. So the really nice chewy pieces of the Parmesan cheese can cook down in this lasagna soup. So if you have never tried it and you're in maintenance and it's something that you enjoy, I would totally encourage you to put it in not just this soup, but other soups that you may make. So they add a ton of flavor and great texture into your soups as well. And just, that little hint of flavor, it's so rich. It just makes it a little bit more decadent. And, you can get fresh basil year round in your organic section. And I sprinkle some fresh basil in your bowl just before serving. And that's a little bit of a game changer too.
I love that. One of the things I got the very special luck to do one time is we went out to this little island off of Lake on I guess on one of the lakes in Lake Como, and they had this restaurant there where there was this crazy guy who was in charge of everybody, but you didn't get to pick what you ate. But at one point during the lunch, they brought this barrel of cheese out that was like this big, and then they would just slice off of it. It was the most amazing experience. So that's what that reminds me of. Okay, well, I think everybody loves a lasagna soup. I've actually never made lasagna soup, so maybe you'll inspire me. Maybe I could just cook that when I'm on the airplane this week. I'm between here, Vegas, and Palm Springs this week.
Oh my goodness.
So we got a big shout out from Wendy White Stevens. She says howdy from a rainy Dallas. And Deb likes the Instant Pot, but slow cooker is way over. So Sandy says slow cooker. Helen says slow cooker. Marie says slow cooker. Renee says Instant Pot. Well, it's like 2-to-1 slow cooker. But here's the cool thing with the Instant Pot. Like you can just you can slow cook, instant cook, and the Instant Pot isn't so instant, as we all know. But anyway, it was a good concept. I do want to say, though, how many of you guys love Dee's Christmas trees behind her? If you love her Christmas trees, give us a Christmas tree emoji, please. And by the way, Dee, do you have a cookbook? Do you have a cookbook next to you? I haven't got my cookbook, but here is this week Dee she got her printed cookbooks. Very, very exciting. So here's the deal, you guys. If you want a printed cookbook, they're only being sold to Ideal Protein clinics. So I know I've had several of our loyal viewers that have reached out and said, how do I get a cookbook into my clinic? And so all you have to do is reach out to Dee, connect Dee with your clinic owner, and she will help arrange all of that. And I just got a Christmas tree emoji there. There we go. Oh, no, whoa, here we go. We got 4 Christmas trees from Sandy. That's awesome. Okay, so moving on. All right, so this show is 1/3 hearty meals and 2/3 dessert, just like I like it.
We're definitely okay. So this one, guys, put your imagination on to work, because I'm going to tell you the base recipe, and then I know your brains are just going to go, oh, what can I make? So this is a very, very yummy, decadent, vanilla-y, chocolatey coconut mousse. And it is thick and it is creamy. And I have some in the fridge right now. I should bring it over and spoon it out for you. And it uses it uses a vanilla or chocolate pudding pack, some egg yolks, some water, some extract if you like, some real extract. I use real coconut extract, and it has fine grated jicama, and it has the chocolatey coconut restricted bar, and it is all melted down together and cooked low and slow to make a really fantastic, it's really like a cooked pudding, but it comes out as a mousse. And I did do a tablespoon of the bloom gelatin to help it set, and it is amazing. It's just like dipping your spoon into a real decadent, thick mousse. And I did use some coconut sweetener to go along with the chocolatey coconut bar. But so think about what other bars you would melt down with either the vanilla or chocolate pudding to create this decadent dessert. There's so many options and variations that we could do, but I did choose a chocolatey coconut bar because the fine grated jicama really mimics coconut. So it's a really nice pairing together. And it actually made 7 of those containers. And you only see 6 because I ate one before I took the picture just to make sure that it really was worthy of being in the picture.
Oh boy, there we go.
Yeah, so let's talk about problems, right? So then you would split them in 2, and each serving would contain 1/2 of a restricted and 1/2 of an unrestricted. You know what I'm going to tell you. I would recommend you just eat both halves within the day as your restricted and your one unrestricted pack, just for easy journaling and tracking. But you could consume half one day and the other half the next day if you're really mindful and a good journaler and can pull it off. So yeah.
Okay, so who is mindful and a good journaler? Give me a thumbs up on that, because I haven't seen any in my clinic lately. Love you guys.
Wendy,
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Wendy White Stevens wins the journaling. She is on day 117 of journaling, and she is a coach in a clinic who has maintained for quite a long time, and she is on day 117 of journaling. So if Wendy can do it, you can all do it.
It is truly the trick to long-term weight maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Dee, so you guys know. Okay. Deb asked, "Can it be frozen?" I guess the last dessert, can that be frozen?
I'll stick it in the freezer and I will let you know, because I haven't done that yet, Deb. I'm just being really honest with you. But I will throw one in the freezer and we'll give it a go. How long do you want to leave it in the freezer for, Deb?
Yeah, let us know that. If you want today's recipes, remember they come out on Mondays and they come in our newsletter. So all you have to do is type the word newsletter, and then the recipes will, then you'll get on the recipe news list. Okay, so Dee, I know we have, are these 3 different cakes today?
2.
Or okay. So I have one recipe that just is titled cake, one that's titled apple ginger cake, apple ginger pumpkin spice cake, and then one's ginger pumpkin spice cake.
Right.
So which one is this?
It's both of them.
Oh.
It's both of them.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna put cake.
Yeah.
You know how Rihanna says cake, 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 cake. All right. So Deb says she wants it to be ice creamy. So she's thinking like creme brulee frozenish is what I'm guessing. So, all right. There we go.
I'll try it and we'll let you know.
Okay. So, Dee has 2 different kinds of cake today. One is gingery, and I guess one is apple gingery.
Okay, so they both actually have fresh ginger and jicama in them, and they both actually contain the pumpkin spice latte. But one is the pumpkin spice latte with the apple oatmeal, and one is the pumpkin spice latte with a vanilla drink mix. So you get a little bit different flavor and you get a little bit different texture. So of course your oatmeal really works up, those cakes work up into a heartier, more dense cake, and then your drink packets are definitely a lighter one. But jicama, if you have never added fine grated jicama to your baking, I would totally encourage you to try it. It is fantastic. It adds so much moisture and texture to your baking, and it really actually takes on the flavor of whatever you put with it. So in that last picture, I had some pumpkin caramel syrup, and so I marinated the jicama, the fine grated jicama, in some of that pumpkin caramel syrup. overnight in a little container before using it. And so it really takes on that pumpkin flavor. And jicama just has that really nice, light, sweet crunch to it to start with, all on its own. So it is a fantastic addition to baking. And of course, you can tell that's the theme, as the jicama was also in the mousse cups for that coconutty texture. And you're also going to see it as a base in some holiday cookie bars that we're going to do as well. So there's always ways to get your veggies in, and they lend a fantastic hand when you're building treats as well. And so again, it's cold. It's getting cold in Alberta. We're turning, the winter comfort food. So, how lovely is it to cozy up with your tea or your coffee and, have cake or bread or loaves or biscuits or muffins. So, and you can totally do that with protein versions. So,
I love it. I love it. So let's pop this poll back up here and see if anything changed here. Oh yeah, 75%. So it's slow cooker week next week. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to end this poll right now. So it's slow cooker recipes next week. Dee, when did you have time to put up Christmas trees? Because really, seriously.
Oh, they're not Christmas trees.
What are they?
They're just those birch trees.
You leave them year round?
This little one right behind me, he's usually in the corner year round, but his lights are kind of dying, so I replaced him with a better one.
Okay. I thought it was Christmas already over there. All right.
So no Christmas in our house until after Remembrance Day.
What's Remembrance Day?
So that is the day that we honor all fallen soldiers and veterans from the wars. So we in Canada, when is it? Remembrance Day. It's a statutory holiday in Canada.
So is it like our Veterans Day, which is next Monday?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to know. Sandy asked, is it possible to freeze grated jicama to use?
Yes. Yeah, but I'm going to be really honest with you. So when I find great jicama, I squeeze the excess water out all the time before baking with it. It holds a lot of water. So whether you're making hash browns with it, or you need to squeeze out that excess water. Once you freeze it and bring it back to room temperature, it's going to release a little bit of water again. So I would recommend pat it dry with paper towels or clean tea towels, whatever you prefer to use. So I am a bit of a tea towel freak. I prefer using clean tea towels, hand towels, because they absorb the liquid, and then no paper sticks. None of your paper towel will stick to your veggies. So I don't mind doing lots of tea towel laundry, but whatever you prefer.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. Well, you guys, because we're running late, I have another show that I have to do today. We won't really say much as far as coaching comments today. I hope everybody is really taking care of themselves. So, head on over to Renee Lynn's Inner Circle group if you really like to do things. I'm always asking questions and kind of helping people introspect and maybe set up some motivation. I know I also have a group called Maintain Don't Gain during the holiday. You're welcome to join that group over there. And of course, Dee's recipes group. Geez, Dee, you're almost at 6,000 people, and it has grown literally in the last 18 months. It's gone from 250 to almost 6,000 people. So Super exciting stuff. I'm so, so excited for you, Dee, to
Thank
have
you.
your cookbook out. So if you guys want your clinic to carry Dee's cookbook, you guys figure out how to get them in touch with Dee. Send the name of your clinic, and Dee can get in touch with them. Send whoever your coach's name is. And we have one more print run coming out before the end of the year that Dee is going to be placing next week. So would love to have you in any of our clinic partners. We love, love, love. Everybody is sharing super fun pictures. Thank you so much for really being a supportive and in the spirit of the holidays, you guys. Let's be kind and caring and calm ourselves down. I don't know if any of you know, but I'm in the CBD business. Take some tinctures of CBD. It really does. It makes life a little more beautiful and a little easier to handle.
Good.
So on that note, Dee, and I'm gonna have to send Dee some
No doubt.
up there. All right, you guys, have a super, super week. We'll be back with slow cooker recipes next Wednesday, won't we, Dee?
That's awesome. You all don't know well, maybe you guys do know me, but I prefer my slow cooker over the Instapot. So
I
I'm
know
going to
that.
thank you all right now for picking slow cooker instead of the Instapot. And I know Renee has to go, but she touched on something super important. So her Maintain Not Gain group, check it out. There's no reason during the holiday season to put a bunch of unrealistic goals and stress on your plate about losing X number of pounds for a silly party or one specific day. Maybe it's more important that you just focus on still creating really good habits and maintaining and not gaining as the busy, crazy season comes upon us. So you need to know that that is a super great and attainable goal too. So head over there and we can talk a little bit more about that next week.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Dee. That's really good. A good point, and something I'm certainly feeling. So, all right, everybody, have a super, super week, and see you next week.
Stay warm.